Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope you all are fine and you all are doing well. So, dear students, this is lecture 11 of your online classes, and from lecture 11, and I'm gonna put three lectures on chapter 3, and chapter 3 is on measurement, one of the toughest chapter on your book. So let's get started with measurement lecture 1. Okay, students. Well, there are actually many systems for measuring units. Well, the metric system or the SI system is actually a decimal system based on 10, used in most of the world and used everywhere by the scientists. So do not confuse yourself by the two names, metric or SI. Well, these two names are not actually identical, but they are mostly similar. Actually, the SI or the system of international units is actually a modified version of the metric system, but well, they are not always equal, but in most of the cases they are similar. Well, from this slide, you must remember that the metric system or the SI system is a decimal system based on 10. Based on 10. I'm going to be showing you how this is based on 10. Well, don't worry and don't concentrate on any other things, because this lecture is going to be tough, the toughest of all. So keep your attention on this lecture with utmost attention. Okay. Okay. In the metric and SI system, one unit is used for each type of measurement. Okay, let us see what are the differences of metric and SI system. Well, you can see that the unit of length in metric and SI systems, they are meter again. Okay, so no difference is there. But in case of volume, you can see that the unit in the metric system is liter, but in the SI system it is cubic meter. Similarly, in metric system, the unit of mass is actually gram, and in the SI system, it is actually kilogram. And as you can see, the last two terms, temperature units are different in metric and SI systems. Okay, that's cool. Now we are actually now sure that metric systems and SI systems are not actually identical, but in most of the cases they are similar. So okay, let's see what is actually the metric system, or what are the basics of metric system. Well, we are going to spend a lot of time on this slide, as this is actually a building block for you to understand the remaining lectures or the chapter number 3 of your textbook. Okay, say for example, this is unit, and by unit it can be a meter, a centimeter, a gram, it can be anything. Okay, so by unit I means 1, and from unit I'm going to go to deca. So from unit I'm going to go to deca, and if you want to go to deca, then you need to multiply the unit by 10. Okay, that means if you are having 1 meters, then if you multiply 1 meter by 10, that means 10 meter is actually 1 decameter. This is what I'm going to make you understand about it. That means if you multiply unit by 10, then you're going to get deca. If you understand unit by 10, then you're going to get deca. Now, in a similar way, if you divide unit by 10, then you will gonna get deci. That means if you are having 1 meters, then you need to go to decimeters. Then you need to do, what you need to do is 1 divided by 10 meter is actually 1 decimeter. That means 1 meter equal to 10 decimeter, right? So from unit, on your left, if you want to go left, then you multiply unit by 10. On your right, if you want to go from unit to right, you need to divide unit by 10. That's the basic building block of a metric system. So this is just for deca and deci. So let us see the others. If you want to go from hectometer, say for example hecto, deca, hecto. So if you want to go from unit to hecto, you need to actually multiply that unit by 100. That means if you're having 1 meter and you want to go to hectometer, that means you need to multiply unit 1 meter by 100. That means 100 meters is actually 1 hectometers. I think it is a little bit complicated, but I want you to concentrate, and in time you will understand everything, right? That means from unit, if you want to go hectometer, then you need to multiply your unit by 100. That means 1 hectometer is 100 meter, or a convenient way to say that 100 meters is actually 1 hectometer. So let us see on our right. Okay, if you want to go from centimeter, okay, from unit to centimeter, if you are having 1 meter and you want to go to 1 centimeter unit, then you need to divide it by 100. That means 1 divided by 100 meter is actually 1 centimeter, or you can say that 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. That's now you might be wondering, or you might be now getting it, that from unit, if you want to go your left, then you need to multiply. From unit, if you want to go your right, then you need to divide. From the last one, centimeters. Say for example, if you are having 1 meters and then you're going to go to a centimeter, that means if you need to divide 1 meter by 100, that means 1 divided by 100 meter is actually equals to centimeter, because you are going a unit to your right. That is why you need to divide by 1 meter. 1 divided by 100 meter is actually a 1 centimeter. That is why 1 meter is actually 100 centimeters. Okay, so those of you who are not getting this, so stay very still. In time you will understand it. So I can promise you, if you see this lecture through, then you will understand everything. Okay, so let us go for the last one. So after hecto we will get a kilo, and then it is on our left to unit. That means we need to multiply it not by 100, but this time 1,000. That means we need to multiply our unit by 1,000 to get kilo. That is why 1,000 meters is actually 1 kilometers, right? So in a similar way, we can actually have another one, millimeters, right, or millimeters. That means we need to divide our unit by 1,000. That means 1 divided by 1,000 meter equal to 1 millimeter. 1 divided by 1,000 meter equal to 1 millimeter. That is why 1 meter equal to 1,000 millimeter, right? So this actually is the basic building block of a metric system, and the best way to understand it, actually, from unit, if you are going to your left, then multiply a unit by 10, sometimes 10, you will get deca. If you multiply it by 10 square, you will get hecto. If you multiply it by 10 cube, you will get kilo. That is why the metric system is actually 10 based, right? This metric system, as you can see now, it is actually a 10 based system. If you go unit to left, then you need to multiply it by powers of 10. 10 power 1 to deca, 10 power 2 to hecto, 10 power 3 to kilo. And excuse me, if you are going from unit to deci, that means you need to divide it by 1 by 10, or you need to multiply it by 10 power minus 1. From unit to centi, you need to divide it by 100, or you need to divide it by multiply it by 10 power minus 2, right? So this is how it works, and it actually based on 10. That is why I told in the previous slide that metric system is actually totally based on 10. Okay, that's cool. So remember this. I want you to actually memorize those terms like this: deca, hecto, kilo, deci, centimilli. Deca, hecto, kilo, deci, centimilli. Okay, so okay, let's go for our next one. Now, from the previous slide, we can actually easily say that 10 meters is actually 1 decameter. That means we need to multiply the unit by 10 to get 1 decameter, right? That for hectometer, we need to multiply our unit by 100. That is why 100 meters is actually 1 hectometers. Now if you want to go to kilometers, then you need to multiply a unit, I means 1 meter, by 1,000. That is why 1,000 meters is actually 1 kilometer. That is why what actually I'm trying to telling you. Okay, so again, from the diagram, so you must see the diagram, or just pause the video and write down the diagram, and then come to the video, and not come to the video, actually pause the video, then go to your copy, and then picture the diagram, and then come to the video, and then resume it. Okay, 1 divided by 10 meter is actually 1 decimeter, because unit to decimeter is actually on your right, on your right, on the right of the unit. Okay, so 1 divided by 100 meter is actually 1 centimeter, and 1 divided by 1000 meter is actually 1 millimeter. That is why from that line we actually write, so 1 meter equal to 10 decimeter. From the second one, 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter, and from the third one, 1 meter equal to 1000 millimeters. That's cool, right? That's really cool. And And as you can see from this slide, that the previous slide or the diagram is actually the most important thing in understanding measurement or the understanding the metric or SI system. Okay, let's jump forward to that one. So as you can see that 10 millimeters is actually 1 centimeter, so 10 milligrams is actually 1 centigram. We're actually moving from length unit to weight units, right? So 10 centimeters, it can also be written as 1 decimeters. So 10 centigrams is 1 decigram, and the remainings are as follows. You might be wondering why this thing is happening. Well, just I do not suggest you to memorize this one. I suggest you all to see the diagram again. Okay, if you see the diagram, in the diagram you will see decameter, and on the left of decameter it is hectometer. That means hectometer is 10 times more than the decameter. Similarly, decameter is 10 times more than the unit. That means 10 millimeters is actually 1 centimeter, right? So 10 meters actually 1 decameter. That is why from right to left, if you go from your right to left, it would be 10 times more than the previous one. That is why millimeters is the last one in the diagram. Just look at the diagram and come here again. Millimeters is the last one. That is why if you multiply a millimeter, then you will gonna get a centimeter, right? And in the diagram you can see that on the left of centimeter there is actually decimeter. So if you multiply centimeter by 10, then we're gonna get decimeter, and on the left of decimeter you will get meter. So if you multiply decimeter by 10, you will gonna get meter, and on the left of meter you will get decameter. So if you multiply meter by 10, then we're gonna get decameter, and on the left of decameter you will have hectometer. That is why if you multiply decameter by 10, you will get hectometer, and hectometer by 10 you will get kilometer. That is how it actually works. It's really beautiful. Actually, you do not need to memorize anything, just memorize the diagram, then all will be done. Okay, so that is actually a very special unit. 1 metric ton equals to 1000 kg. I'm going to be using that unit, 1 metric ton equal to 1000 kg, a much. In most of the problems I'm going to use that one, so memorize that one. 1 metric ton equal to 1000 kg. Okay. So as you are now familiar with metric systems for lengths and weights, now in this slide I am going to be showing you the metric system for area based units, like not meter but meter square, not centimeter but centimeter square, and I want you to put your utmost attention to this also. So from unit we can go to deca, but this time not by multiplying 10, by multiplying 10 times 10. Well, you might be wondering why 10 times 10. Well, 10 times 10 is actually when you are converting unit to deca in length. Well, length is one dimensional, but area, when you deal with area, well, there is actually another thing with length, and it is called breadth. Length times breadth. So area is actually two dimensional. That is why we need not 1 10 but 2 tens. Okay. So when you go unit to deci, that means in terms of length you divided it by 10, but when you are dealing with area related units, you need to divide it not by 10 but 2 tens. That means 1 divided by 10 times 10. So in terms of unit to hecto, square hectometers, then you need to divide it, multiply it by not by 100 but 100 times 100, as you are dealing with area related units. Now that well, this actually means that if you are having 1 meter square and you want to go to square hectometer, that means you need to multiply your unit by 100 times 100. That means 10,000 square meters is actually 1 hectometers. This is what it actually tells us, that if you want to go from unit meter square to square decameter, meter square to square decameter, then you need to multiply it by 10 times 10. That means 100 square meter is actually 1 square decameter. This is what it actually tells us. Okay, so this one is a little bit different, but the criteria is same. Now for centimeters, you're gonna get that thing. Okay, centimeters, you're gonna divide your unit by 100 times 100. That means 1 by 100 times 100 square meters is actually 1 square centimeters. That means 1 square meter equal to 10,000 square centimeters. Okay, now for kilometers, well, you're gonna multiply the unit by 1000 times 1000, because this is not a unit of length but a unit of squares, right? Meter is square. That means 1000 times 1000 meter square is actually 1 square kilometer. So same things happens for millimeters. Okay, that's cool. So let us see if you can understand it or not. Say for example 10 times 10 square meter equal to 1 decameter, 1 square decameter. So if you do not understand it, just see the diagram, then you will understand it. And 100 times 100 square meters is actually 1 square hectometers. Keep those things in mind. Just do not try to memorize it, just try to understand it. If you are going to memorize it, you will out of your head in some days, right? In a couple of days you will out of your head, because you cannot memorize all of this all along. Okay, so 1 divided by 10 times 10 square meters is 1 square decimeters, and 1 divided by 100 times 100 square meter equal to 1 square centimeters. So 1 square meter is 100 square decimeters. 1 square meter equal to 100 square decimeters. I have written this from that line, right, from the third line. And from 1 square meter equal to 10,000 square centimeter, I have written it from that fourth line. Okay, so these questions are very much important for your MCQ exams. Okay, so let us see our next. So in this slide I'm going to demonstrate that diagram again. What if the question is 1 square hectometer is how many square kilometers? Then what would you do? Okay, so those of you who are not understanding, please concentrate on this one and see how I solve this, right? So, and you all know that hecto and kilo. You know that 10 hectometer is 1 kilometer from the first diagram, but well, this one is a little tricky. Well, this one is not hectometer to kilometer, but square hectometer to square kilometer. There is a term square in there. So what we need actually, we actually know that one, right? 10 hectometer equal to 1 kilometer. We do not have any problem regarding this line. So 10 hectometer equal to 1 kilometer, but the question is not about hectometers but about square hectometers. So what we do, we know that we need to multiply hectometer by 10, not by 10 but 10 times 10 to get square kilometers. So 10 times 10 square kilometers is actually 1 square hectometer equal to 1 square kilometer. That means 1 square hectometers is actually equals to 1 divided by 100, or 0.01 square kilometers. So as you know, as you can see that in terms of when you are finding units in area, that means square term is involved, then just calm down and do not multiply not by 10 but multiples of 10. In this case 10 times 10. Or what you can do, you can memorize 10 hectometer equal to 1 kilometer and square on both sides. 10 square means 100 square hectometer equal to 1 square is 1 square kilometer. You can also do that. So 100 square hectometer equal to 1 kilometer, then 1 hectometer equal to 1 divided by 100 kilometer. Either you can do this one or that one, but for beginners this one is the best. For beginners this one is the best. Okay, so let us see another example if you understand it or not. Okay, 1 decameter equal to how many decimeters? 1 decameter is how many decimeters? Well, in that case I'm not asking you to find a square decameter or a square decimeter. I'm asking you the basic one, like from you can see on the right that unit to deca and unit to deci. If you want to go deca, then you need to multiply unit by 10, and if you want to go unit to deci, then you need to divide it by 10. So 10 meters is actually 10 meters is actually 1 decameters, and 1 divided by 10 meters is actually equals to 1 decimeters. That is why 1 meter is equal to 10 decimeters, right? That means 10 times 10 decimeter equal to 1 decameter. That's the answer. 1 decameter is actually 100 decimeters, right? So that's all. Actually, this picture should be the first picture. I actually misplaced that one because it is area related, but this problem is not area related. It should be 10 and it should be 1 divided by 10. Okay, thank you students. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I want you to see this video minimum 5 times to get things clear. If you do not find it interesting, you can let me know what your problems are, and I'm gonna be uploading 2 more lectures on chapter 3, so keep your eye on that one. Thank you very much.